Today, we're talking about a revolution, but it's not one you'll see on the news every night. It's happening quietly, in code, and it's completely reshaping global finance. It's called tokenization, and well, it's how America is building a brand new kind of digital empire. Let's get into it.
Yeah, you heard that right. Forget what you learned in history class about empires. This one isn't being built with ships or soldiers. It's being constructed on digital rails with lines of code, and its influence is reaching every single smartphone on the planet.
So what in the world is this token empire? Well, you can think of it as a system where U.S. financial assets, especially the good old U.S. dollar, become the bedrock for a new global digital economy. Let's break down exactly how that's happening.
Okay, so the whole thing hinges on this one core idea, tokenization. It's basically like creating a digital twin for a real thing. You take a dollar or a share of stock or even a piece of a building, and you create a unique digital token that represents ownership of it. And that token lives on a blockchain, which is just a super secure, transparent digital ledger that no one can secretly mess with.
Now, I know that might sound a little complicated, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple, and it's incredibly powerful. Let's look at the biggest example of this out in the wild right now, stablecoins.
So how do you make a digital dollar? It's really just a simple four-step dance. A company takes actual US dollars and parks them in a bank. Then they issue the exact same amount in digital tokens. These tokens can then just fly across the globe in seconds, anytime, day or night. And here's the key part. Whenever you want, you can swap your token right back for a real dollar. It's the US dollar just supercharged for the internet age.
And the difference here is just staggering. I mean, look at this. We're going from a system where it takes days to finalize a transaction to one that takes literally seconds. From a market that's only open business hours to one that's always on, 24/7, 365. It just smashes through geographic walls and gets rid of a ton of expensive middlemen. This isn't just a tiny tweak, it's a complete rewiring of how money moves.
And look, this isn't some niche little crypto trend happening in a corner of the internet. The absolute biggest players on Wall Street, they're not just getting involved, they are leading the charge. Let's take a look at just how massive this has already become.
Just take a second to look at that number, $238 billion. That is the value of digital dollars or stablecoins that are already circulating around the world. What that tells you is that there is a massive global hunger for a digital version of the US dollar. And this chart, wow, this chart says it all. When we say tokenized currency, what we're really talking about is the tokenized US dollar. An incredible 99% of the entire stablecoin market is backed by the dollar. No other currency is even in the same league. The digital currency revolution, at least for now, is an American one.
This quote just nails it. Financial titans, we're talking BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, BNY Mellon, they're not fighting this. They see it as a huge opportunity. For these giants, this isn't some little experiment. It's a strategic move into what they see as a more efficient, more global future for finance. It's an upgrade.
And it is so much more than just currency. Just look at what's on the menu. We are talking about the bedrock of the U.S. financial system. U.S. government debt, private loans, even shares in famous American companies are being turned into tokens. This makes them available to basically anyone in the world around the clock. Goldman Sachs and BNY Mellon are even putting money market funds on the blockchain. That's a $7 trillion industry.
Okay, so how does all this Wall Street activity actually build a new kind of global influence? Well, this tech isn't just changing banking. It's changing how regular people all over the world use the dollar in their day-to-day lives, especially in emerging markets.
You know, for hundreds of millions of people, this slide is their daily reality. Their local currency is constantly losing value because of inflation. The government makes it hard to move their own money around. And trying to get a US dollar bank account, forget about it. It's basically impossible. This creates a huge, constant financial anxiety.
And right into that problem comes the solution, digital dollars. For somebody in Argentina or Nigeria, a stable coin on their phone is a digital safe haven. It lets them save in a currency that's actually stable, protecting their wealth from all that local chaos. And they can do it all without ever needing a traditional bank. This is bottom-up demand on a global scale.
Now this chart, this might be the most surprising piece of the whole puzzle. Even though these are digital US dollars, an estimated 80% of all stablecoin transactions happen outside of the United States. Think about that. This isn't mainly a tool for Americans. It's become an American tool for the rest of the world. It's effectively exporting US financial stability to anyone with a smartphone.
And it gets even bigger.
Companies are now using stablecoins to dollarize the global workforce. They can pay a developer in India or a graphic designer in Brazil instantly in digital dollars. They get to skip all these slow, expensive international wire transfers. This makes American companies way more competitive, and it further cements the dollar as the language of global business.
So, the picture we've painted is of this incredibly powerful, rapidly expanding system. But, just like any empire in history, this kind of growth doesn't happen without creating some friction and some pushback. So let's flip the coin and look at the other side.
Unsurprisingly, not everybody is thrilled about this. Other countries are worried that this digital dollarization is weakening their own currencies and their control over their economies. Regulators have real concerns about financial stability and preventing crime. And of course, there's always the chance that a rival, like a digital Chinese yuan, could pop up. These are all very real risks to keep an eye on.
But here's the bottom line, at least for now. Despite all those risks, the momentum is undeniable. The world trusts the US dollar, and the sheer convenience of its new digital form is just too good to pass up for millions of people. At the end of the day, those market forces are proving to be way more powerful than the pushback. And so that leaves us with the big, final question. Is this tokenized, dollar-based financial system the inevitable future? What we're watching is a new type of power being built, not with weapons, but with technology. And whether it becomes a stable foundation for the whole world's economy, or a source of new conflict, well, that's a story that's being written as we speak.